Good evening, our dear viewers. A new episode of our daily debate where we are going to tackle the repercussions of the Israeli-American war on Iran and its repercussions on the world economy, as well as the role played by Egypt in order to try to diffuse the crisis in the region. To shed light on the issue, we are very much delighted to be joined here in the studio by our very dear guest, Dr. Ahmed, our economic expert. Good evening, Doctor, and thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Good evening to all of you. It's my pleasure to be with you all the time.
Thank you, sir. And before we're starting our debate for tonight, we'll start with our top stories, where President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi was briefed on the general plan for the development of Damietta port, in addition to the transportation projects nationwide. The meeting reviewed maintenance of October 6th bridge and the required expansion to accommodate the increase in the traffic density. This came during President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi's meeting with Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli and Minister of Transport, Lieutenant General Kamil Al-Wazir. Moreover, the Minister of Transport reviewed the efforts to expand the establishment of an environmentally friendly, green, sustainable mass transit network, including the second phase of the RF project BRT. Ambassador Mohammed al-Shinnawi, presidential spokesman, indicated that the Minister of Transport presented the executive position for the development of the river bus in Greater Cairo and on ongoing preparation for the actual operations of the monorail East Nile. President Sisi stressed the need to continue working on the localization of the transformation of industry and the development of the Egyptian port network in a way that complement the state's effort to maximize the infrastructure over the past years. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi convened on Tuesday with the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Badr Abdel Ati, to review the regional developments. Presidential spokesman Ambassador Mohammed al-Shinnawi said the meeting discussed a comprehensive report on the Foreign Minister Abdel Ati's recent Gulf tour. The tour aimed to enhance the Egyptian Gulf-Arab coordination on regional developments. It also delivered a message of solidarity and support to the Arab partners. President Sisi asserted Egypt's condemnation of the attacks targeting the Arab countries and full solidarity of the Egyptian leadership, government and people with its Arab brothers in confronting the current security challenges. The President also reiterated the importance of the joint efforts to de-escalate tensions and prioritize a diplomatic solution to preserve regional peace and security. Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madbouli sent a greeting cable to President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi on the occasion of the approaching of Eid al-Fitr. The Prime Minister expressed wishes of health and success to the President and more security, stability and prosperity for the Egyptians and other Arab and Muslim nations. Also, Defense Minister, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, General Ashraf Salim Zahir, and General Ahmed Khalifa, Chief of the Staff of the Armed Forces, sent congratulatory cables to President Sisi on the occasion. The cables expressed well wishes on the occasion and renewed pledges to defend the nation and to acquire knowledge and power to prepare a combatant who is capable to cope with the current challenges. General Zahir also sent his congratulations on the occasion to the Armed Forces personnel. Meanwhile, Speaker of the House of Representatives, Councillor Hisham Badawi, sent greeting cable to President Sisi on the occasion, expressing him sincere congratulations and best wishes. He praised the efforts of the political leadership in construction and development. On the same occasion, Minister of Interior Major General Mahmoud Tawfiq sent cable of congratulation to President Sisi. Minister of Interior also sent congratulatory cable to the Speaker of House of Representatives and the Senate, Minister of Defense, Grand Imam of Al-Azhar, as well as to other ministers. And back to our main topic for our daily debate for tonight with our dear guest, Dr. Ahmed Kattab, about the repercussions of the current Israeli-American war on Iran. Dr. Kattab, Of course, we have seen, before talking about the economic repercussions of the war, we have seen great efforts exerted by Egypt in order to try to diffuse the situation in the region, and we have seen many calls from President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi to his Arab brothers, the leaders of the Gulf states, and the monarch of Jordan, King Abdullah, the Sultan of Oman, and the visit, of course, by Foreign Minister Badr Abdel Ati to many Gulf states in order to try to find a solution to the crisis in the region. How do you see the Egyptian diplomacy in regard to trying to diffuse the tense situation in the region, which is having severe repercussions on the whole region?
Let me first of all, by the name of all Egyptians, send a special thanks to our President Fattah al-Sisi and the Prime Minister of Saudi Arabia and the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Dr. Badr Abdel Ati, for the great effort all of us doing in the Middle East in order to make settlement of this war. And also all of us in Egypt send a delegation and thanks to Minister of Defense, General Ashraf Salim Zair, for the great effort done by the Egyptian military force in order to protect the Egyptian borders and to protect every city in Egypt from any threats, and let the Egyptian citizens enjoy the safety and stability under the Egyptian military force achievement done in the last year especially.
Yes.
At the same time, I'm here to send a message to all the GCC country, especially Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, Qatar, Oman, and Bahrain, and all countries of GCC. Egypt will support you 100% in order to be secured and safe. Egypt will achieve a wonderful achievement in order to make a settlement of this war like we do before between Gaza and Israel. Especially Egypt have a wonderful diplomatic relation with USA, especially the relationship between President Sisi and President Donald Trump, and also President Sisi have a good relation with the Prime Minister of Israel during the peace process we agreed before, in order to make a settlement of this war. And on the other hand, we try to make some agreement with the Arab leader, especially Saudi Arabia, Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman and President Tamim, and all the business in order to take the right direction of diplomatic way in order to make a pressure in Iran to stop escalation of war and accept the negotiation, because Iran leads the GCC area and all the Middle East to a very bad scenario economically and politically and geopolitically also. And the Iran war affect more and more and make a pressure more and more in all the petroleum sector. Because of this, the prices of every product and the price of shipments and the prices of transportation increase. So this will lead to another world inflation crisis, not only related to Middle East or Egypt, but related to the whole world.
Yes.
And I think the wisdom of the Egyptian President Sisi and the good relationship with the international community like France, like Germany, like UK will support Egypt to play a very effective role in this war also. I'm here to send a message to President Sisi and to President Trump. Please come to Sharm el-Sheikh again. Please open the peace conference in Sharm el-Sheikh. It's secure 100%, and I think it will be accepted also by Iran. And this summit should be attended by all GCC leaders and by Israel and by United States and by Iran in order to close the file of war and start a new diplomatic way, because at the end we will solve the problem diplomatically, not only by the war. The Egyptian military force also will be able to cover and to protect all the Egyptian border with Saudi Arabia and with some with Libya and with a lot of country, but we not able to make escalation of the war because the escalation of the war will lead to more loss Iran at the end will lose more and more in infrastructure. Nowadays, it's a civil infrastructure. After 1 week or 2 weeks, maybe energy sector infrastructure destroyed by the USA military force. Maybe all cities, large cities in Iran will be destroyed by Israel and USA air forces. And the losses in Iran will be, looks like Gaza losses. Destroyed of all
and we have
infrastructure
seen also
building.
many officials in Iran were killed by the Israeli and American attacks, and today we have seen the top negotiator of Iran, Ali Larijani, assassinated as well.
Yes, so because of this, I'm here to send the message, please stop the war, and please take the right direction of new diplomatic way. Our foreign minister Badr Abdulati make a lot of visit to GCC country in order to agree in the agenda of peace process in the Middle East. And thanks to all GCC countries, especially Saudi Arabia, because Saudi Arabia have a very strong military force.
Yes.
But until now, only make a defense of the country and not try to make attack to Iran military force in order to protect the border of Saudi Arabia, and in order to protect all Muslims in Umrah or Hajj in Saudi Arabia.
Yes,
until now, Iran day by day lose the coordination and the community with the Arab area because of the sudden attack to U.S. Arab Emirates and Qatar and Saudi Arabia, and this is not accepted by all the Arab country and not accepted by Egypt. And we send a clear message to Iran, please take some thinking before you do some unpredictable things with the other Arab country in the GCC area, like United Arab Emirates or Qatar or Saudi Arabia. And please take the right direction of the peace process in order to stop this war as soon as possible, because at the end you will lose the war.
Yes, indeed. And we'll be taking this report about these developments in the war between Iran, Israel and the United States and its repercussions. Then we'll be back to continue our debate.
Beyond the Middle East, the war in Iran is already reshaping the global economic landscape. What initially appeared to be a regional military confrontation between the United States, Israel and Iran has quickly evolved into a systematic shock affecting energy markets, international trade, inflation and economic stability worldwide. As history has repeatedly demonstrated, conflicts in the Persian Gulf rarely remain confined to the region. They reverberate across the global economy because the Middle East remains the heart of the world's energy system. At the center of the economic disruption lies the strategic importance of the Strait of Hormuz, one of the most critical maritime checkpoints in the world. Roughly 20% of global oil and significant volumes of liquefied natural gas normally pass through this narrow waterway linking Gulf producers with markets in Asia, Europe and beyond. As hostilities intensified and shipping through the strait was disrupted, energy markets reacted immediately. Oil prices surged sharply, rising from below $70 per barrel earlier in the year to levels approaching or exceeding $100 per barrel during the height of the crisis. The consequences of this energy shock are being felt across continents. Higher oil prices quickly translate into higher transportation costs, increased manufacturing expenses and rising prices for basic goods and services. Economists warn that if the conflict persists, the world could face a renewed cycle of inflation combined with slowing economic growth, a phenomenon known as stagflation. Even a sustained 10% rise in energy prices could push global inflation higher while reducing economic output. The ripple effects extend far beyond fuel prices. Inflation, aviation, shipping and logistics sectors have already experienced significant disruptions as airlines cancel flights across Middle Eastern airspace and maritime insurance premiums rise sharply. Thousands of flights have been cancelled or rerouted, while cargo shipments face delays and increased costs. These disruptions threaten to strain global supply chains that are still recovering from previous shocks, including the pandemic and the war in Ukraine. Energy-dependent economies are particularly vulnerable. Countries in Europe and Asia that rely heavily on Middle Eastern oil and gas imports face rising energy bills and increased pressure on household purchasing power. Analysts estimate that higher energy prices could reduce economic growth across parts of Europe while pushing inflation upward. Yet the economic consequences may not entirely negative for all actors. All exporting countries outside the conflict zone may benefit from higher prices, increasing their revenues and strengthening their geopolitical influence from geopolitical conflicts are likely to intensify efforts by many governments to diversify energy sources, expand renewable energy investments and reduce dependence on fossil fuels concentrated in politically volatile regions.
And welcome back, sir. How has Egypt actually demonstrated its commitment to supporting the Gulf countries and safeguarding the regional security and stability? And we have witnessed the President Sisi saying all the time that the security of the Gulf states is part and parcel of the national security of Egypt as well.
First, let me send special thanks to President Sisi for strong bilateral relation between Egypt and Saudi Arabia and Egypt and United Arab Emirates and Egypt and Qatar and all the countries GCC.
Indeed.
The relationship between Egypt especially and Saudi Arabia is a strategic relationship, and we have already a mutual military force training all time with Saudi Arabia, with United Arab Emirates, and lastly with Qatar. And all this country already have a very qualified military force, and the most updated military force if we compared it with Iranian military force. But this country have a regime, have a control of the military force in order to stop escalation of the war in the Middle East. Because more escalation of the war will lead to more losses, especially economic losses related to the energy sector. Mega project in and mega infrastructure spent in Qatar for liquid gas, for example, and mega economic economic company working in the file of oil and gas in Saudi Arabia, and Saudi Arabia for last 50 years spend more and more in this file, and also United Arab Emirates and also Kuwait. So all this country have a very qualified infrastructure, even it's related to energy sector, even it's related to banking sector, even it's related to economic, even it's related to health care and education for citizens. But Iran till now have only maybe not strong, but have spent more only in the military file related to some weapons. But this spending not affected the luxury of Iranian citizens. Like Iran is a petroleum country, looks like Saudi Arabia. But in Saudi Arabia, we have a luxury citizen working in real estate, working in banking, working investment. But Iran only working in weapon. And this is not accepted by the Iranian citizen and not accepted by all the Middle East. Every country should have a military force and should have, at the same time, economic infrastructure and economic investment, and should have a satisfied level of education, level of health care, level of tourist sector. But till now, Iran work only in one way, the way of war, the way of threats to all GCC country in the area. If we go back, we have a war between Iran and Iraq for a long time without any effect to every country. Nowadays, this Iran tried to play a new scenario, the war with the old GCC country. At the end, Iran will lose this fight.
Yes.
But now, I'm here to send a message. Egypt merely have a strategic relation with the GCC country, and we protect all this country, even military, even and because this country included a lot of civil Egyptian citizens already working in Saudi Arabia and work in Qatar, work in Kuwait,
and
all Arab region.
Yes.
So Egypt not only protect the Saudi Arabia, but also protect the Egyptian citizens working abroad in Saudi Arabia, and also Egyptian Muslim is in holy months of Ramadan, in Umrah, or in after 2 months will be in Hajj, and this is a civilian citizen not going to work, going to enjoy Umrah, working for tour as a tourist. And this is escalation of the war from Iran or from Israel or from USA will stop the airport, to stop a lot of travel between these two countries, the GCC country, and make instability of the region. More instability in the region will lead to market depression, will lead to more inflation, and will lead to increase in the price of food and fuel, especially oil and gas. And in Egypt, we are in need of stop this war as soon as possible, because we have a pressure, especially in the fight of energy sector.
Yes. In related matter, Dr. Kattab, why does Egypt view the stability of the Gulf states as a fundamental pillar of the whole regional security?
Yes, instability of the Gulf will reflected economically in the region, especially Middle East and all Africa. I think many official report from CNN and from any international TV, this war will affect the economic of all Middle East and Africa in the same time, and will affect also the flow of the shipping through Suez Canal corridor and Suez Canal logistics area, and will stop the growing or decrease the growing rate we reached in Egypt in the last 1 year. Fitch and the Standard & Poor's expected in the growing rate of Egypt in 2026 will reach to 6% at least. Because of this war, it will be maybe 4% or 3%.
Of course.
So we are in Egypt, we hope, in order to stop this war immediately and take the right direction, the direction of diplomatic way to solve the problem, like the scenario of Gaza and Israel. They are all, if we go back to the scenario of Iraq, at the end, USA will won the war, and at the end, the infrastructure of Iran will destroyed, and the government in Iran not able to make a right election to select a new president, for example. Till now, in Iran, we don't find a clear president of Iran, because every leader in Iran takes a decision, and day by day leader of Iran killed. So this is lead to Iran very weak to protect even the president or even the some responsible person in the government in Iran, and this is also reflected. It's very weak as a military force to protect the leaders of Iran, even its political leader or military force leader also. So at the end, the peace process should take place in Middle East, and Egypt and Saudi Arabia and Qatar will playing a very effective role together. Because of this, Minister of Foreign Affairs Badr Abdalati make a lot of visits to GCC country, and the GCC day by day make a direct call with Jordan, direct call with Saudi Arabia, direct call with Qatar president, in order to find a solution, and in order to make international pressure also to President Donald Trump to take the right direction of negotiation instead of escalation of the war. Because, and at the same time, the international community and the Congress in USA make a pressure also to President Trump, please, we try to stop this war, because every day America spends more than $1 billion as a military force in the Middle East, and this is a huge budget not approved till now by the Congress. And Egypt and also the USA citizen and the tax paid in America not accepted this spending in the Middle East.
Sir, how do Egypt's strategic relations with the Gulf countries reflect a shared history and common destiny and common interest as well? Because the whole region is bearing the repercussions of such war, and we have seen, of course, Iran attacking many oil facilities in the Gulf states, many airports, many American interests in the Gulf states as well. So how do you see such repercussions on the whole region?
Such repercussion in the whole region will lead to more lose in the good relations the Iran and all GCC country, and will lead to instability in GCC countries, especially United Arab Emirates, affected directly by Iran threats and by Iran destroy of civil and military places in United Arab Emirates. Even at the same time, also not only United Arab Emirates, Kuwait, for example. Kuwait is a peace country, and also affected by Iran attack day by day. And Oman. Oman, this is the only country before the war by one day still go in the negotiation with America and negotiation with Israel and negotiation with Iran in order to make a peace process. How come to make escalation of the war and try to attack Oman, even it's a country pieces 100% and not have any challenge with Iran or and the relationship between the two countries is a wonderful relationship. So Iran should be more carefully when he want to make escalation of the war. Iran not able 100% to make escalation against, especially USA. Maybe he can do some things to Israel, but USA you're not able because the military force of USA is advanced 100% and able to make renew day by day and able to make airplanes and aircraft and a lot of advanced military force against Iran, and USA day by day destroying a very strategic places in Iran, but Iran not clear with the Iranian citizen and not clear also with the international world. But according to international TV and international, we see a lot of destroying in Iran. Every day we see destroyed of civil and military force places in Iran. And Iran should take the scenario of peace process in Middle East we take in Gaza, but before more time, because once the long time of the war will lead to more destroying in Iran, even by Israel or even by USA, and will lead more losses also with GCC country, and with the process of this process will be very hard if this war will take more than another 1 month, for example. But I hope after Eid al-Fitr, by 1 week or 2 weeks, we should sit together in order to stop this war, and we should have the peace process and diplomatic way to end this war. Even we have a lot of solution, and I think all the country in the area, Arab country, or even also America and Germany and all the country, not like this war, because this war lead to more inflation in the price of fuel, and more inflation of the price of shipping goes through Bab Mandab gates and also Suez Canal corridor, and insurance company pay more and more, and so the economic instability in Middle East will affect it and will reflect it directly to the international world.
Yes, indeed. So you have mentioned here the repercussions of this war on many vital things like the oil prices, the markets, the supply chain. To what extent we are seeing here severe repercussions from the war on the pricing of oil, and how it is affecting the supply chain till now, and what if the war dragged on and continued for a while? What would be its impact?
To be clear, till now in Egypt, for example, and in Middle East, for example, the price only mainly the increase in price mainly concentrated in the fuel, oil and the gas and liquid gas.
Yes.
But this is step by step. Will reflect it to the price of foods, will reflect it to the price of car industry, the price of infrastructure, the price of real estate. But until now, every country have at least 3 months reserve from the strategic product, oil and gas, sugar, and so on. So till now, the price in Egypt, for example, is still stable, because also we have in the whole month of Ramadan, the Egyptian government make a surplus supply of all commodity, essential commodity to all Egyptian citizens, covering at least 4 months. So price of foods, price of medicine, and so on is still stable. But if this war will be for the coming extended for the coming 2 or 3 months, the new price will be very high, and the inflation rate will be very high. And also, we in Egypt, we build our country state, we're building North Costa, we build the sea, all this mega project with the cooperation with the GCC country, like Nile Alamein project in the Valley of Real Estate, and Alam al-Rum project in the Valley of Real Estate with cooperation with Qatar.
Yes.
And this country will be affected directly by this war. So the investment of this country in this project will decrease month by month, and the spending in tourist sector will decrease, spending in investment in Egypt will decrease. But if we go back to the settlement of this war, it will go normal according to the calendar we agreed before. So Egypt and GCC country have a strategic relation, and also Egyptian working abroad transfer every month a lot of billions to Egypt. If this Egyptian working abroad not able to take salary or go back again to Egypt, it will be affect negatively to the Egyptian economy, because Egyptian abroad make monthly transfer to Egypt by billions of dollars. And so this is also very strategic point. So because of this, Egypt will try to play a very effective role in order to stop this war, and Egypt will use all kind of pressure in order to stop war, even pressure is with Israel, pressure with America, pressure also with Iran. And
we are seeing the efforts exerted.
Yes, yes, and the President Sisi graduate from the Egyptian military force and know 100% how to stop this war as soon as possible, because he is more intelligent one in this file and in negotiation, even in Arab region or also in international community like USA region.
Indeed. Dr. Ahmed Kattab, our economic expert, thank you so much, sir, for being our guest for tonight. Many thanks for your precious input.
Thanks.
And that would bring us to the end of this edition of the Daily Debate. Till tomorrow with another crew, I'm Rabia. Many thanks for watching.